Hey, this is Meridith Elliott Powell, and welcome to Sales Logic, the show where we dive into the strategies, we set the steps, we tell you everything you need to know to well sell logically. I am here with my partner in crime, Mark Hunter. Mark, welcome to the show.
Well, I didn't know this was a criminal activity we were involved in, but hey, great to be with you today. Yeah, I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Maybe we will commit. No, we won't go down that path today.
Not today. I got to apologize for my background. I'm doing a new course for LinkedIn Learning, and my office is a bit of a mess because I've got a lot of high-tech equipment in it. But even in the midst of doing all that, Mark and I felt it was important we jump on and do this show today. Because, Mark, why don't you tell everybody what we've got in store for today?
Well,
You've got a really great lineup.
We do have a great lineup, and the topic we're going to be talking about is what are the best ways to set goals? Gee, that's kind of logical going into the tail end of the year. The question we have comes from a listener, and I'll come back and how you can submit your question here in just a bit. But the question is, my customers are more frozen than ever due to everything going on. I've spent more time chasing accounts receivable. How do I get out of this? Because, man, my attitude sucks. So we'll kind of come back and talk more about that in a bit. The book, we have a book. Every week we highlight a book. Yes, I'm not going to hold it up now. I'm going to wait till the end of the show when it's appropriate for us. And the fourth piece is what we call the lightning round, where we really run fast through a topic. And today's topic we're going to talk about, so you don't want to stick around for it, 22 minutes of fast action. Fast ways to fix my attitude. Now, let me come back and just explain just a second, because the question, how do you get a question submitted? Go out to our website, saleslogicpodcast.com. Just drop in a question, and who knows, we may be answering it next week. Or go out to social media and just do hashtag #SalesLogic. But hey, we really are glad that you're watching live or catching this on the audio. So, Mayor, let's go ahead and jump into the question. How's that sound?
I think that sounds great.
Okay, so the full question is, my customers are more frozen than ever due to everything going on. I'm having to spend more and more time chasing accounts receivables and reworking orders. My attitude is falling fast. What should I do? Comes from a small business owner / manager in New York State. Name withheld, as well, you can very well determine why.
Well, I'm gonna start with first, give yourself a break. I mean, this has been a tough year by any measures. I mean, your attitude can be a challenge in normal years. So first of all, give yourself a break. Now, not too long a break, because I want you to back that up by just going back to March of this year, because that's when I'm assuming your world fell apart, like our world fell apart. And I just want you to write down the things that you've accomplished. You need to take a little time and really look at the progress that you've made. And I think that's an important exercise for all of us, because we have had to do so much changing and move so fast that it feels like you're always behind. And you don't really realize until you stop just how much you've accomplished.
Oh, so true on that, because we can't always, accounts receivables and reworking orders, totally get that. A lot of people are having to go through that. Totally understandable. But don't let it get you down. This whole thing. This too shall pass. We can go back to, what was that thing we called the Great Recession? And then when we were in the middle of it, we never thought we'd get out of it. We did. We got out of it. So just breathe, relax, keep things together, hang in there. Sun's going to come up tomorrow morning. And, I don't know. I think this is just one of those things that sometimes there's no clean way to get through something. You just got to get your way through it. Remember that? Yeah. Remember that final that you had to study for, in college, that class you dreaded, but somehow you got it done, right?
Oh yeah. So probably most people did it better than I did. But the other thing I would say is just really focus on doing the next thing. Don't worry about what's going to happen a month from now, what's going to happen 2 months from now, but just keep thinking about doing the next thing. I was thinking about this the other day. In fact, Mark and I were talking about how, as we head into the holiday season, there's a bit of a lull here. It's like, it isn't typically like business is on fire right now. Some things come in, but we're typically in the challenge time of the year. And you have a choice. You can do nothing, you can stop, but that's only going to guarantee that you get further behind. Or you can force yourself to just keep doing your behaviors, make your sales calls, follow up with your customers, do all the things that you're going to do. And then somehow, miraculously, when the pipe turns back on, you're going to have all the groundwork laid to be in the best position for it. So truly, the difference between a salesperson and a sales professional is, can you keep moving forward? Can you keep progress going, even when it seems like nothing's happening?
Oh, I tell you what, stopping is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
That's the absolute worst thing. You just become frozen in time. And I see that happening so much right now with because there's two types of salespeople out there. There's a salesperson that's really being very successful. They're having a great year. And then there's the other salesperson that's just really struggling. I mean, it seems to me like there's nobody in the middle. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I'm hearing both extremes. But hey, we should jump into the topic. The topic is, what are the best ways to set goals?
Well, it's a good topic right now because we're headed into goal setting season. You should be setting your goals right now for 2021. I'm going to say the first thing that you need to do is you need to figure out what the end game is. Before you set your goals, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? I was just on the phone this morning with a brand new client, and we were working on her goals for 2021. And where we had to start was, tell me what you're what is the business going to look like a year from now? What types of customers do you want to attract? What does your revenue need to look like? How does that revenue need to be split? So you need to begin, as Stephen Covey would say, with the end in mind. You've got to know where you're headed before you set those goals.
I'm going to take that, looking at it at the end of the year, and go one step further. Look at, where do you want your business to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now? I talk about in my book, A Mind for Sales, what are your 25-year goals? Don't hesitate to spend a few minutes picking all the way down the path. Because here's the thing that I find. People set goals. They set short-term goals, and then they set dream goals. Mm-hmm. And both of them, without a plan of action, are futile. And that's the thing that drives me crazy, is when people spend all their time developing, these are great goals, but they have no action plan to achieve them.
Well, I'm going to say that, thing that I'm passionate about is keeping your goals simple. I really never allow my clients to go past 5 goals. Goals are really about working on your business. You still have to work in it. And so the goals need to be set out there as something that you can actively work on, you can actively get accomplished. You can always, if you accomplish a goal, you can always go back and get another goal, but really keeping yourself highly focused at no more than 3 to 5 goals is some of the best way to set a goal.
I totally agree with that. Too many people, what they do is they make this whole laundry list. They have 20 or 30. No, you're not going grocery shopping. It's just 3 to 5 goals. But now here's what I will say. I'm going to set 3 to 5 goals for my business. You and I are working on this respectively in our businesses. And I know we're getting together a week from now to kind of compare notes. But then what we'll do is, within individual customers, within individual clients we work with, we'll set goals within them. We'll set goals. So you set sub goals, but you know what's interesting? All of those sub goals build towards you helping to achieve your big goal. That's the whole thing. Everything you do needs to support and take you one step closer to the next thing, Otherwise, you just wind up, your head is just spinning because you're just a pinball going from side to side.
The other thing I want to say about goals is that every time I say to my clients, we need to set goals, goals tend to freak people out because they think they're like a commitment of marriage or something. Like, you're not allowed to change the goal, or you're not allowed to do something different. Or if I commit to that goal, then, what if I want to do something, that's the opposite of it halfway through?
Okay, just a second, Meridith. I got to stop you there. So what you're saying is that marriage is not a commit? No, okay. No,
I said that people feel like goals are like marriage. So here's what I want to say is goals are something to aspire to. It's kind of like, this is how I always phrase it to my clients. I say, tell me what you wanted to be when you were a kid. And typically I'll get everything from, a fireman to a ballerina to a policeman to a doctor. And typically people are not what they wanted to be when they were little kids. It's not what they grew up to do. But the very fact that you had a dream or you had a vision or you set a goal, put the plan in motion. It's what made you go to grade school. It's what made you go to junior high. It's what made you go to college. But along the path of life, we change the goal so often. It's the same in your business. We need a goal so we know where we're headed. Now, we're going to look at the goal throughout the year. We may change it. We may adjust it. And that's just fine. But without a goal, you don't have clarity of where you're going.
But you need to make sure that that goal stretches you. Because
yes.
Anybody can set goals after you've achieved it. Oh, that's easy. That's easy to do. What you want your goals to do is you want your goals to stretch you and to have you thinking. Because the whole key thing, and this is one of the things that I think in 2021, partnerships, creating collaborative opportunities is what people are going to be needing. And so you want to be thinking, okay, if I have this goal, okay, it's going to stretch me. What are the other people? What are the other things I need to be bringing into this to help me achieve this? This, again, is one of those pieces because I want to look at a goal and say, okay, what do I need to change? What do I need to improve upon to enable that, to enable me to achieve that goal?
So just to sort of bring this to conclusion, let's back up and let's help you get in goal setting mode. Number one, please remember, you don't have to commit to these for life. So just get a goal because it's going to how you're really going to make progress. Think about where you see your business anywhere from a year to 3 to 5 years from now. And then when you ask yourself that, what are the 3 to 5 things you need to focus on now to move you closer to those? What are the goals you could really focus on? Now, something Mark and I didn't talk about was really making sure that those are measurable. And it's incredibly important that goals are measurable because you need to make sure that you're making progress on them. But making sure that they stretch you, that they're achievable, and they're moving your business forward. Remember, goals are about working on your business, not in your business.
Yeah, they are really designed to help hold you accountable. Because I'll tell you what, otherwise you're going to wind up going through the year and you're going to wonder why you didn't accomplish something. I always want to have a roadmap because, hey, if I don't have a roadmap, I can be driving down the road, but who knows where I'm going? Well, okay, roadmap. Okay, we'll call it Google Maps. Okay,
right. That's a little dated.
Okay, that's a little dated. Okay, hey, work with me. You somehow picked up on that. Anyway, here's the whole piece. Goals are your guiding light. And if you want to say, hey, I don't need a guiding light, then that's fine. You know what you'll do? You'll spend your entire time working for somebody else, helping them to achieve their goals. Because you know what's interesting? We are all achieving goals. It's just a question of whether or not they're your goals or somebody else's goals.
I think that I do. And I think I just want to say one more thing about goals. Just please don't start 2021 without some level of goals in mind. And you don't only have to have them for your business. You can have them for your personal life too. In fact, I think it's a good idea to think about goals from a holistic perspective.
Oh, that's a good point. You want personal goals and professional goals. Hey, with that, let's keep moving along here. Let's move to the book segment. And I've got a book that, hey, I know you know the author. I know the author very well. Colleen Stanley and her book, Emotional Intelligence. In fact, hey, my copy is autographed by her. How's that sound?
Wow.
But I know you just talked to Colleen the other day about this, right?
Yeah, I just had her. I just did a LinkedIn Live with her. I believe we're on Facebook and YouTube as well, and really diving into. I think she's the guru of emotional intelligence, and I think this is such a great book for you to choose right now because I think that emotional intelligence is even more important in the age of COVID than it was before.
I think it certainly is. And what I like about the book is it's the personal stories, the personal way in which she shares it. It's easy to think, oh, emotional intelligence. This is going to be some, very deep. No, it's not. It's a book written that you can understand, you can learn from, and you actually can picture yourself with Colleen as she's walking you through a number of the stories in the book, as she talks about her clients, she talks about her own successes and her own failures. So, hey, the book is Emotional Intelligence, Colleen Stanley. Very much suggest you pick it up and read it. And with that, let's jump into section number 4 of our podcast, the lightning round. Fast ways to fix my attitude. Okay, now hold it. It's not my attitude. It's my attitude is in everybody's attitude.
Yeah. Let's start with who you surround yourself with. I'm a big believer you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if your attitude needs an adjustment, you probably need to look at the circle of company with which you are keeping.
And we hope that the 2 of us are 2 of the people in your circle to help you have a good attitude. So, hey, just a cheap, cheesy plug there for Sales Logic Podcast. Hey, here's the second piece. Take a piece of paper, write down all of the outcomes that you've helped your customers achieve. Write down the outcomes. It's amazing the success that you've had.
You probably need some type of a morning routine, whether you just spend some silent time, whether you meditate, whether you pray, but just a little self-reflection to really think about and allow your mind to calm so that you can really think about what's important in life, what your priorities are in life, and what really matters. Because a lot of times we have a bad attitude about things that really, in the scheme of stuff, a lot of people have it a lot worse than we do.
Oh, without a doubt. And take a moment every day and be thankful for other people in your life. In fact, I tell people, don't hesitate to pick up the phone, call somebody, thank them for something, send them an email. I do this routinely. I'll send people a handwritten note, or I'll send people an email. Hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for this. Thanks for the impact that you're making. It's amazing how it changes your own outlook.
Yeah, I would also say that if you want to work on your attitude, you need to think about managing your energy versus your time. There are certain things that I need in order to keep my energy up. And one of them is I have to go outside every day. I'm not somebody who can sit at my desk all day long or even spend a day where I don't leave the house. So a lot of my friends make fun of me because I very much prioritize my tennis games, my golf games, time on my bicycle. And I don't think of those as cheating on work. I think of those as things that make me more productive. So I'm very protective of time that I have with my husband, time that I have with my friends, and time that I have enjoying some of my great sporting activities. And I think that keeps my attitude elevated so I can be more successful at business.
And that's why 40 minutes from now, I will be out on my afternoon run. So that's just my commitment. You have to be committed to things and you have to stay on schedule. And what does that also mean? You schedule time for breaks. You say, hey, I'm going to get this done over the next hour, and then I'm going to take a 15-minute break, whatever it is. I purposely schedule time every day for my physical exercise.
I think that another thing that you need to do is that you need to focus on what you can control and forget about the rest. Mark mentioned writing down the progress that you made, but I think one of the most powerful things you can do, as long as you're writing things down, is just dump out everything you're worried about, everything that you're mad about, everything that's giving you a bad attitude, all the things that aren't fair in life. And then really ask yourself, what can I control and what can't I control? And if you focus on what you can control, not only are you going to make progress, but it's really going to improve your attitude.
And that's going to mean staying off of social media, because it's amazing how social media can suck your attitude down, because suddenly you get FOMO. You see what everybody else is doing. Hey, back off. The only thing you're concerned with is who you are and the impact, the positive impact that you're making on other people.
Yeah, be careful of the messages that are coming in to your life. We just came off a holiday, and we're headed into another series of holidays. And sometimes that means, even if it's just by Zoom, time with maybe family members or friends who we love, but we don't love their attitude. And so, you've got to learn to balance that with those messages. So if you've got an aunt who's pretty negative human being, make sure that after you engage with her, you're going to spend some time with maybe your young nephews who are just full of life and energy and positivity. So making sure that you're getting more positive attitude messages into your life every day than you are getting negative. All right. I think that is going to
Don't Don't focus on the immediate action at hand. Play the long game. Play the long game. It is amazing when you look down the road. You know what? The sun's still going to come up in the morning. And it's amazing how what we're bent out of shape about today, a year from now, won't even come up on our radar screen. Why don't you get one more, and then I'll go ahead and close it down.
Okay. One more would be, fake it till you make it. Even if you don't have a great attitude today, my husband and I were having a conversation yesterday about the fact of introverts versus extroverts. And I am more of an introvert than I am an extrovert. Most people don't believe that, but I do not get my energy from people. And given a choice, I would spend time alone rather than with people. But he said that can't possibly be true. I heard you yesterday all day working with that crew of people, laughing and cutting up. And I said, well, my job is to make the day fun. My job is to, make sure everybody's enjoying this 7 hours we're going to be working together. And so I was faking it until I make it. And so sometimes you just got to buck up and fake your attitude. It may not be how you feel, but you just need to do it, because at the end of the day, the perception that you want to have of yourself and you want others to have of you is that you have a good attitude. You're somebody who's fun to be around, and you're somebody that brings energy into the room rather than sucks it out.
It is amazing when you're positive to other people. It is amazing how it comes back and plays out in your own mind, and you're positive to yourself. So with that, we haven't been faking it. Hopefully we've been delivering you some real content today. But let's go ahead and wrap it up, and I'll just go ahead and say thank you for listening to Sales Logic this week. If you like what you hear, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. If something we've said has earned you a single dollar, consider telling a friend about our show. It's how we grow to help you grow. I'm Mark Hunter.
And I'm Meridith Elliott Powell.
Remember, when you sell with confidence and integrity,
all of a sudden you turn uncertainty to your competitive advantage.
And the sale becomes logical.
Big shout out to George Henderson. Thank you so much for always tuning in with us. And we'll see you all next week. And I got to tell you, next week, Mark, I want to talk about sales kickoffs and what you ought to be doing.
Yes.
December and January to get ready to make it your best year on record.
Because we're going to be helping you do that through a number of things that we're going to be announcing. So you got to come back and listen next week. Great selling.
See you then. Bye.